Good morning, everyone. So far, we discussed about the CNS and PNS actions, how it is generate the impulse and how it is passing the impulse. Like that, only we discussed so far. Today's video and upcoming videos are gonna be a different part. That is how the brain looks like and spinal cord. What are the structure in deep depth of the brain? The human brain is by the most complex and highly organized structure of the body. This organ allows us to think, move, feel, see, hear, taste, and smell. And also, it controls our body, receives, analyzes, and stores the many informations, produces the electrical signals which together with chemical reaction let the parts of the body should communicate the messages. Next, the average adult human weight was 1.2 to 1.4 kg. This brain takes up only the total human body 2% only it takes, and the volume of around 1260 centimeter cube for men's and 1130 centimeter cube for women's. Despite this relatively small mass, the brain contains approximately 100 billion neurons inside the small mass, and this neuron is considered as the functional unit of the brain, and it is make up the most complex and highly organized structure on the earth. Next one is anatomical part of the brain. This is a small introduction, deeply we'll discuss in the next video. In this we are only discussing about the last column, that is a ventricles part, that only today we discuss more. Ventricles. The brain contains hollow space called ventricles, which are filled with the CSF. CSF in the sense cerebrospinal fluid. They are extensively in four types. One is lateral, and second is third ventricle. Next one is fourth ventricle. Next, cerebral adduct. We know the human has four different types of ventricles and their connections. Blue color here, blue color indicates the lateral ventricles. Cyan color, it is the intraventricular foramina, and the yellow color indicates the third ventricles, and red color indicates the aqueducts mesencephaly. It means aqueduct of Seilwitz, and purple color indicates fourth ventricle, and green color indicates the continuous with central canals. From this picture we can easily understand the ventricle's position, how it is located in the brain and where. In the lateral view, we all know the brain lateral view, it is located inside the brain in the center part, and in the anterior view the ventricles are present in the right and left part equally. Here the lateral view, the topmost and the C-shaped structure looks like, in topmost is lateral ventricle. Next to that is the intraventricular foramen. Next to that is third ventricles. Next is cerebral adduct. Fourth one, last fourth ventricle is located this line under the cerebral canal. There are two ventricles deep within the cerebral hemispheres called lateral ventricles. They both connect with the third ventricle through a separate opening. That opening is called foramen of Monro. The third ventricle connects with the fourth ventricles through a long narrow tube-like structure that called aqueduct of Seilwitz. From the fourth ventricles, the cerebrospinal fluid flows into the supraarachnoid space where it bathes the and cushions the brain. From there, the cerebrospinal fluid is recycled or reabsorbed by the special structure in the subarachnoid sagittal sinus called arachnoid villi. The balance is maintained in the cerebrospinal fluid is the amount of CSF that is absorbed and the amount that is produced. Produced and absorbed has been the balance because the arachnoid villi is restored. A disruption or blockage in the system can cause the buildup of CSF. which can causes the enlargement of the ventricles. That is, the clinical condition is called hydrocephalus, or causes the collection of fluid in the spinal cord. That condition is called syringomyelia. Here, the disruption or blockage causes the health issue in the CSF fluid building up on the ventricles or the spinal cord itself. The enlargement of the ventricle causes the one type of clinical conditions, and the spinal cord causes the another type of clinical conditions. So, the maintenance of the cerebrospinal fluid is important. First one is lateral ventricle. It is the cavity of the cerebral hemisphere. It is she-shaped structure. It has three horns in the central part. First one is anterior horn, posterior horn and inferior horn, and also it having a central part or the body portion. In anterior horn in the frontal lobe, posterior horn in the occipital lobe, inferior horn is the temporal lobe, and the central part or the body portion is the parietal lobe. In the ventricle portion, lateral ventricle is the large ventricle in the brain because it covers all over the four lobes. Next we move through third ventricle. It is a narrow and slit-like cavity whose lateral walls are formed by the thalamus and hypothalamus on either sides. At the rostral margin of the midbrain, the cerebral aqueduct opens into a third ventricle. Next is fourth ventricle, a tent-shaped cavity filled with the cerebrospinal fluid and lined with ependyma, and which is continuous above with the cerebral aqueduct of the midbrain and below with the central canal of the medulla oblongata and the spinal cord. See here in this picture, the fourth ventricle is anterior to the cerebellum and posterior to the pons and superior half of the medulla oblongata. There are several formia opening act as the channels that connect the ventricles. Since they are connected, they are called intraventricular formia. The intraventricular formia is also called as the formia of Monro. We already read that. This is connect the lateral ventricles to the third ventricles through which the cerebrospinal fluid and which can be flow on to it. Now we can see the small summary of the ventricles. First column that is indicating the gap between which is connecting the lateral and third, fourth ventricles, and how it is to connected with others. See here the connection to the lateral ventricles to the third ventricle, that is called intraventricular formia, and third ventricle to fourth ventricle, that gap is called cerebral sylvis, and next is the fourth ventricles to the subarachnoid space, that is called median aperture, and the fourth ventricles to the subarachnoid space via the cistern of great cerebral vein, that is called right and left lateral aperture. Here the median aperture is called mesenteria and the lateral aperture is called ischia. Next we move on through cerebrospinal fluid, which is the clear and colorless fluid. Keep in mind it is a clear and colorless fluid which is actively secreted major and ultrafiltration is minor part. The cerebrospinal fluid is formed by the choroid plexus within the ventricles, 50 to 70% within the ventricles, and epidermal cells lining the ventricles and perivascular space in the brain. Some of the fluid may originate from the brain substances. Features of the cerebrospinal fluid is color, means it is a crystal clear color. Daily secretion amount is 550 ml. It means 0.3 ml per minute it is secreted. Volume is 150 ml. Specific cavity is 1.003 to 1.008. pH is 7.33. That is a basic pH. Osmolarity is 289 and the pressure is maintained there is 50 to 180 mm of H2O. Next one is production and flow. The cerebrospinal fluid is produced by modified ependymal cells. We all know. of the choroid plexus found in all the components of the ventricular system except for the cerebral aqueduct and the posterior and anterior horns of the lateral ventricles. CSF flows from the lateral ventricles via the interventricular formula into the third ventricles and then for the fourth ventricles via the cerebral aqueduct in the brain stem. From the fourth ventricle, it can passes into the central canal of the spinal cord or into the subarachnoid cistern via third small foramen, the central median aperture and two lateral apertures. Next one is functions of cerebrospinal fluid. It is the protective function in air brain weight 1400 grams, but it's a water bath of CSF. Brain weight is 50 grams, making it suspended effectively and protected from the shock. Next function is distribution of peptides, hormones, neuroendocrine factors and other nutrients and essential substances to cell of the body. Third function is wash away the waste products and the fourth one is regulates the volume of cranial content. Here it gives the protective function, distribution of all the nutrients and hormones, everything, and wash away the waste products and regulates the volume of cranial content. It's a wonderful function it does. From this I finish ventricles and cerebrospinal fluid part. Tomorrow we will discuss on the other parts of the brain. And today's question was, what are all the different types of ventricles in the brain and explain the functions of cerebrospinal fluid. Thank you for patient listening.